I'm Rachelle.
I'm Kalie.
And I'm Brie.
And we are
Paranoia Percentage.
We're just three girls who are a little anxious about our world.
And this is our 8th episode, so if you don't know what we do here...
We are fascinated by cryptids, conspiracy theories, and everything weird.
Alright, so today we are talking about Nessie, or the Loch Ness Monster. I refer to her as Nessie because I feel a kinship with her. We'll get into that.
Oh, she and I are on even closer terms than that. I call her Ness Ness.
Oh, I see how it is.
Not only that, but for those of you who have looked at our little logo, Rachelle is actually the little monster that's supposed to look like Nessie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, this is kind of her little kinship episode.
Yeah. She's like my spirit animal.
Yeah.
So Brie and I will contribute a little bit today, but mostly this is kind of Rochelle's thing.
Yeah, she's gonna kind of take the leads on this one.
Oh my god, guys. Alright, so Nessie is known to be from the Scottish Highlands in Loch Ness, which is like the Gaelic version of saying Ness Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry if that's super offensive. The word loch means lake.
The monster got the name from the lake, not the lake from...
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Loch Ness is the largest freshwater body in Britain, and it's actually speculated that Loch Ness could potentially hold the world's entire population more than 10 times. That's how big this thing is.
Wait.
What?
So
I know,
basically
right?
it's saying, basically it's saying 7 billion people can fit in this lake. So 70 billion people in this lake.
That's what I
70.
read.
There's only 7 billion people.
So,
But 10
but she
times.
said times 10.
Yeah,
Oh my-
10 times the world's
So
yeah.
70 billion people.
Wait,
So this
but-
is a really, really big lake.
I had heard a statistic that if everyone on Earth lived as close as they live in New York City, that we would all be able to fit in the state of Texas. I mean, I know that's not like stacked on top of each other, basically, like you would be if you were dead in a lake, but that still seems...
I don't know how true that is. I got that online. You can't believe everything you read online, kids.
If it is true, serial killer's dream. Just saying.
That is a
That's grade A dumping grounds.
that's a deep abyss lake.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're not going to find a body in that.
This is dark.
This is starting out very dark, yeah.
The Loch Ness Monster is the ghost of a woman that Brie murdered.
Wait.
All right,
Because if we're going by origin stories. Anyway.
Okay, so Nessie sightings have been reported all around the lake from, I'm going to butcher this, Urquhart Bay to Fort Augustus. She's, yeah, Urquhart Bay.
Farquad.
It's not Farquad.
Lord
It's Urquhart.
It's like your quart or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Urquhart is
Your
what
quart?
I said, I think.
I feel like that sounds demeaning. Your quart.
Your quart. So she's typically described as quite large, which don't fat shame my girl, with 4 flippers and a long neck, possibly having 2 humps, a tail, and a snake-like head.
Ooh, lovely lady lumps.
Yeah. There have been several reported sightings of Nessie and supposed photographic evidence, which we will get into later, but of course skeptics still...
Like a cryptid skeptic.
still remain, leaving the lake monster classified as a cryptid.
Yeah.
So, I know Brie has a little bit on the origin story.
Okay.
If you would like to take it away, madam.
So, our girl is old, according to this origin story.
Don't age shame.
No, she's aged like fine wine.
You're like,
She's spiritually connected to her.
I kind of feel the way about Nessie that Brie feels about Marilyn Monroe. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the earliest written reference, not necessarily like that there wasn't lore about her before this, but the earliest written reference to a monster in the Loch Ness is 7th century, so pretty early, a 7th century biography of Saint Columba, an Irish missionary who introduced Christianity to Scotland. So we're bringing a little bit of history into this.
Okay.
But he introduced Christianity to Scotland in 565 AD. According to the biographer, Saint Columba was on his way to visit the king of the northern Picts near Inverness when he stopped at Loch Ness to confront a beast that had been killing people in the lake.
What?
Yeah. So your girl was a little hungry, according to this biographer.
No. My girl never killed nobody.
According to this biographer, she did. According to this biographer, she was killing people.
Nope. I don't believe it.
I mean, even the cutest animals can still kill things.
That's true.
I don't buy it.
They gotta eat.
I'm skeptical on that one. There's no more... After, like, okay, all of the other reports that I have, there's no...
Have reported her as docile,
people.
Yeah, have reported her as docile.
Yeah, because she ate plenty of people, and she was no longer hungry.
She's not hungry anymore. Seeing a large beast about to attack another man, Saint Columba intervened, invoking in the name of God and commanding the creature to go back with all speed. The monster retreated and never harmed another man. So it got scared.
Only
Nessie
women.
was scared.
Or, like, he cursed her so that she couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah. If it was in the name of God.
Poor hungry baby girl.
Yeah. Yeah, so she really can't eat anymore. So obviously she's going to be docile. But, yeah.
Bad now.
Well, she's got to eat something.
Yeah.
She'll probably eat, like,
plants and
fish.
stuff.
Seaweed,
Fish,
maybe?
Fish or plants or...
Seaweed is tasty. I love seafood. I love sushi.
Sushi's
Yes.
fine. I bet she eats a lot of
You don't
sushi.
like sushi?
I hate sushi.
Oh, wow. What's wrong with you? No, I'm just
Fun
kidding.
fact about Brie, I hate sushi.
I love it.
I ate... Okay, it might have also been the way that I ate it the first time.
Okay.
Because it had caviar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
What is caviar again?
Fish
eggs.
Fish eggs. Okay.
Yeah, it had... They were like different colors. Like, one was like a green ball, and then another was like a red ball.
Huh.
So I
Okay.
think it was like caviar, but like different kinds.
I don't know. I've never had caviar. I don't really want to
It was
try it.
disgusting. I hated it entirely. And the guy that actually, like, introduced me to it, he was like, well, no, this was just a really bad example of sushi. I'll take you to get better sushi. And I was like, no. I will never trust your judgment of sushi again.
Come with me to Yamato and we will get the tuna roll and the eel roll, and they are delicious.
I'll try it. I don't know that I'm going to eat the eel roll.
The shrimp one is good too. But also, the sushi that's not real sushi, that's actually like cooked sushi, is probably my favorite. So I think especially if you're kind of wary of sushi.
Like sushi with tempura in it.
Tempura.
Yeah, I had, me and AJ and Jeremy and Kira went to Yamato recently, and I got, one of the rolls that I got was like a dragon roll or something like that, and it was like tuna tempura. So it means that they fry it.
Oh, yeah.
And then put it in the roll. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was the first, like, written reference to a monster in the Loch Ness. Was a guy who was bringing Christianity like Saint Nick brings Christmas. And he was just like, Christianity. Also, there's this monster in this lake, and she be eating people. So
She be eating
so he was like, I smite thee, monster, and then she never ate anyone again.
I don't like the term monster. It's derogatory.
She's literally called the Loch Ness Monster.
I don't like calling her that. I call her Nessie.
Okay, but I'm not gonna call her a Nessie.
You can call her the creature or the cryptid.
Creature sounds more derogatory than
monster? Really?
Right, because monster's kind of like badass, whereas creature's like, ew, creature. You're a creature.
I'm a creature.
I'm a creature.
You're a monster.
Yeah, because I'm the devil daddy.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. For those of you who did not listen to episode 1, A, what's wrong with you? And B, Brie is the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, like, go do that.
Yeah.
Like,
go listen to that,
stop
please,
this
right now.
My life
and go
story.
do that.
Catch up.
My life story is episode 1.
Yep. True.
So we'll just talk about it.
100% truth.
You guys can really get to know me that way.
There you go.
But anyway, so yeah, that was the first written reference of her. Of course, there might have been stories before that, but we'll never know because that is ancient and I'm not that old. But yeah, so that was the first written reference.
Says the youngest member of this podcast.
According to human proportions, I am a devil.
Well, that's okay.
I mean,
the Jersey Devil is older than Brie.
Time is just a construct, so...
True.
Also true.
True.
Well, you know, our life as we know it doesn't actually exist anyway because it's all a simulation, right? Right, Kalie?
Simulation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, my information starts in 1933 because 1933 was probably the biggest year for Nessie. It was not the first time that she's been seen, obviously, but it was certainly the year with the most sightings. So, on April 14th of 1933, John Mackey or McKay and his wife witnessed a large creature in the water that they claimed resembled a whale. And so then on May 2nd, shortly after that, is when the first story of Nessie appeared in the newspaper. So that was them telling their tale. And then on July 22nd, Mr. and Mrs. George Spicer saw a creature cross the road in front of their car. Which this one's, yeah, I know, this one's wild. They described it as being approximately 4 feet tall, 25 feet long, with a long skinny neck that was as long as the road's width.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because there was a kind of a dip in the road, they couldn't see the lower half of her. They just kind of like saw like the top half.
Wait, so she was in the street?
She was crossing the road. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
She's
reports
crossing the
that
road.
she can go up on land.
Yeah, they watched her cross the road and then swim off into the loch. Isn't that cool?
That's a mood.
Kind
Right?
of like
Wait,
an alligator.
why did the Loch Ness Monster cross the road?
to get to the Loch Ness.
No. No.
Why?
Because she was trying to go eat some people. But then St. Columba, or
Well, I mean, this
whatever
was in
his name is.
1933. I think St. Columba was probably long dead.
Nah.
He was magic.
Is he immortal?
He was immortal.
All right.
Through the power of
New
God.
conspiracy theory. He was immortal.
St. Columba was immortal.
And he just keeps reporting the sightings.
All right. So, in August of 1933, a report came in from Arthur Grant. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, he was driving his motorcycle along the northeastern shore when he saw a long, snake-like head attached to a long neck, a bit thicker than an elephant's trunk, which, that's pretty good size.
Yeah.
The creature saw him and proceeded to cross the road and swim back into the lake. He tried to follow her, but he was too slow, and by the time he got to the shoreline, there were only ripples in the water.
Time out.
Yeah.
He was trying to follow her on foot or on motorcycle?
It does not say.
Because
I'm going to assume...
on foot.
Yeah.
Because if my girl here, if my Nessie is really faster than a motorcycle...
Yeah, I'm going to say he probably jumped off the bike, because you don't want to go off-roading in a motorcycle, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So he probably jumped off the bike and started running after her, but she was faster than him, so she got in the water before he could get there.
Yeah, because she probably got longer legs.
Yeah.
She's probably got legs that are about 4 times his actual height.
Probably.
So...
I mean, she's not a small girl.
No, she not tiny. She not small.
She's not small. No.
Not a small bean.
You got a look on your face, Kay. What's up?
You look confused.
Oh, no, I'm mapping out in my head. If she's 25 feet long, then her legs really aren't that long. They would probably be like, if she's 25 feet, a person is like 6-ish feet. Her legs are probably
Speak
somewhere...
for yourself. I'm 5'3".
I'm talking about like a dude on a motorcycle. The type of dude that motorcycles. I don't know.
The type of guy that rides a motorcycle is probably going to be about 6 foot, wearing an Ed Hardy shirt.
With a black leather jacket.
Hair slicked back.
And
Anyways.
no helmet because dumb.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really don't wear helmets.
Yes, please wear
Yeah,
helmets.
please wear helmets.
What's wrong with you?
Motorcycles are
God,
really
we're
cool.
like the moms of the podcast world.
Motorcycles are
We
really
are.
cool, and I fully plan on getting one. But wear a helmet, guys, and take
Wear
the
your
classes.
helmets, eat your vegetables, Go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Drink water.
Wear your jacket. It's cold out there.
And gloves. Anyways, I was gonna guesstimate that her legs are probably somewhere around 4 feet long because
Okay.
Oh yeah.
if she's I can't demonstrate. I'm trying to demonstrate.
If you like,
If her head is one way and her tail is the other way, tail-ish, whatever it is, it happens to be.
That thing.
Yeah,
But
kind
like
of like
obviously
Bree is actually on all fours right now trying to demonstrate this.
because I'm
Like, this is
imagining
her legs instead of,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
this being her legs.
I'm imagining the rats because the rats are very long.
Right. Kaylee
But
has
very
pet rats, in
small
case you hadn't caught that
legs.
before in the podcast.
The rats are very long, but they're really, really short. And so I'm picturing her to be basically the same way, where she's really long and can go through the water, sort of
That
like
makes
dolphin-y.
sense, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be different. I thought it was gonna be like she was like giraffe-esque.
Well, okay, so we're going to get into that later of what she might actually be if she does exist. Because I have a theory that is a relatively common theory, actually. I think a lot of people subscribe to this, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I also have a theory.
I should probably get back up to the microphone. I'm
probably.
far away from you guys.
All right, so then on November 12th of 1933, see, a lot of sightings in 33.
Yeah.
Hugh Gray, not to be confused with Hugh Grant, was strolling near the lake when he saw a very large creature emerge from the water.
Or Hugh Jackman.
Or Hugh Jackman, also, yeah. He quickly pulled out his camera and snapped multiple pictures, but only one of them developed properly. Yeah,
I'm gonna call it.
that's sketch.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring out my...
But that picture does
Bullcrap
exist.
card?
You guys can Google that. Just look up Hugh Gray Nessie. In December of 1933, the Daily Mail sent Marmaduke Wetherell to do some research on the recent sightings. Wetherell discovered some footprints on the shore of Loch Ness, and I think you have a little bit more, Kalie, on that.
Yeah, he did find some footprints, but unfortunately, when they went back to analyze those footprints, they found that they were actually of dried elephant feet, which were often used at the bottom of umbrella stands. So women would walk around with these umbrellas, and as they were walking, put this on the ground.
I thought it was hippopotamus feet.
Yeah, I think it was
No,
hippo.
it was maybe it was. Hang on.
The
let me look.
information I had says hippopotamus feet.
You're probably right. I might be misspeaking. Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
Let me see.
And it does
Oh
say...
yeah, you're right. Hippo feet. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
But anyways, they were used popular at the bottom of on umbrella stands. So
Okay.
they turned out to just be nothing.
Right.
Which unfortunately, because it got so popular over Daily Mail and on the news and everything and in the media, after he was proven to be absolutely wrong, it was kind of a disgrace on him.
Oh yeah,
So
he
you
was
can go on about
absolutely
that.
humiliated. He felt betrayed by the Daily Mail and the people who did the follow-up investigation that discovered that it was fake was the British Museum of Natural History.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he felt pretty messed up over those guys. It's okay, Bree. Just open the fudge. Okay. All right.
Like, I was just like
You good?
trying to do it really slowly so that it wouldn't affect the microphone.
Okay, so she's over there looking at us while she's slowly opening a bag of fudge.
There is no reason we cannot eat snacks while recording.
For context, this is a Ziploc bag, and these are the worst bags that I've ever had as far as, like, trying to be quiet.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Except for, like, chip bags.
Yeah. All right, so we are now on to April of 1934, which is when the most famous picture of Nessie in existence, known as the surgeon's photograph, was taken and published in the Daily Mail on April 21st.
The, like, super grainy, like, almost greenish black one, right?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Okay.
It's the one that kind of looks like, if you're making
Just look up surgeon's photograph, like it'll come up.
And I'll post it on our Instagram for you guys, too.
Yes, also that.
it's the one that looks like an arm coming up doing a raptor face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the one that's, like...
They're both demonstrating with their arms. All right, so the photographer was Robert Kenneth Wilson. He claimed that he took 4 pictures, but only 2 turned out clearly. I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, 60 years after the photo was taken, the truth was revealed by one Christian Sperling. The photos were actually staged. The Nessie, quote-unquote, that Wilson captured on film was made from plastic and attached to a toy submarine built by Sperling. So, who the heck is Sperling? We have not heard this name mentioned on this episode today.
Right, he could just be a clout chaser. We don't know.
He could. Well, he turns out Christian Sperling is actually Marmaduke Wetherell's stepson. Remember the guy who was humiliated by Daily Mail?
Oh.
Yeah.
So he was probably, like, trying to do a really nice thing for his dad.
Maybe.
Or he was just a clout chaser.
Maybe. So, Marmaduke Wetherell, the stepson, Christian Sperling, and Wetherell's biological son, Ian, and an insurance agent named Maurice Chambers conspired together to create the photo. They created the submarine contraption and took it out onto the loch, where Ian took the photographs. But while he was taking the pictures, they heard someone coming, so Marmaduke Wetherell stepped on the submarine, sinking it into the lake, where some people believe that it still rests to this day.
I feel like, as far as history goes, it'd be really cool if somebody were to scuba dive
And
in
go
that
get that
lake
thing?
and go get that thing.
I mean, it's probably, this was 1933?
So it's probably sunken deep into the ground by now.
Right, but it's probably pretty damaged.
Still.
Right? Like, the Titanic doesn't look good.
No, it probably doesn't look good.
And if this thing was made of plastic, well, plastic's pretty durable.
But it was also a toy submarine.
Plastic lasts, like, what is it, 7 years before it breaks down or something? But it like, starts to break down, but it takes years and years and, like, decades to fully break down.
I have no idea. I am not scientifically savvy at all.
Yeah, plastic isn't biodegradable.
Mm-hmm.
So
it probably, at
Recycle,
least,
people. Recycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
It probably exists down there. It's
just not in good shape.
Right.
Okay, so this is more of a... I'm sorry, this is kind of disproving the Loch Ness Monster.
That's fine.
All right.
Just because I believe in her doesn't mean you have to. That's the joy of this podcast, guys, is you can all kind of listen to what other people have to say and, like, create your own thoughts. And
Yeah, I don't like creating my own thoughts.
I like thinking like everyone else thinks.
Right, because you're not a typical kind of girl.
Yeah, I'm not like other girls.
Really
I'm
so quirky.
And I talk about serial killers and I watch serial killer documentaries. And Ted Bundy was, like, so hot.
Oh my god, we should have gotten an autograph. I wish we were born in another century.
I wish we were born in that decade.
I actually don't see why people thought he was so attractive.
He really
Not
wasn't.
my style
That's
at
actually
all.
another psychological discussion for another episode because there was, like, huge psychological backing to why.
Well, a lot of
found him
women
attractive.
like marry people who are in there for like the girl who married what is his name?
Ted Bundy.
Yeah, the dude with the swastika on his eyebrows.
Charles Manson?
Charles Manson, yeah. Like, some women are obsessed with men like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got this sort of kind of wife right now, or they might have gotten married by now.
He's dead.
Did he
Charles Manson
die?
died.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
It's
executed.
recent.
Yeah,
They
okay.
executed him
Wait,
recently.
did he? Yeah, it was.
It's only
an
been within, like, the
execution,
last year or two.
Yeah, it was
they
like
executed him.
it was
No,
2019
they
that they
didn't
did it
execute him, because I remember now. He just died. I think he just died.
of natural
I
causes.
think so. God, we could be all
We should
over
Google
the
that.
place
We
right
should
now.
Google that.
While she Googles about Charles Manson, totally off topic, I'm going to talk about this study.
He had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
see,
natural causes. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
June of 2018, some researchers went out to the lake and did a study of the lake's biodiversity. Not really for the purposes of finding the Loch Ness Monster, but just to do research on the biodiversity, which means that they take samples from the water and get out DNA samples from that to try to determine what all lives in that water.
yeah.
Okay, so they took about 250 samples of water from various locations and depths in the lake, and they found about 3,000 distinct species.
Wow. So a lot of wildlife in that
A
lake.
lot in that lake. Okay, so one of the scientists, his last name is Gemmell, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it seems like it would be Gemmell, Gemmell. He was like one of the main people that were talking about their research.
Okay.
He said that there is absolutely no evidence, DNA evidence of any reptilian sequences, so it could not be a plesiosaur.
Which is my theory,
right.
Yeah.
He said that there is no evidence that it's a plesiosaur, like a lot of people think it is, which you'll go into more detail on that, because there's no reptilian sequence in the DNA that they found. There's also a theory that it could be a giant catfish, which is also unlikely, because they didn't detect any catfish DNA either. However,
Well, and a catfish wouldn't look like that.
No, a catfish would
probably
be
not.
more like everybody knows what a
Well,
what
I
a
don't.
catfish looks
We
like.
live in the Midwest. We know what catfish look like, but city folk might not.
Well, that's city folk. Google it.
I'm a city folk and I know what catfish looks like.
Because you now live in the Midwest. Am I wrong?
I lived in the Midwest when I was a city folk too.
There are cities in the Midwest.
There are. That's true. St. Louis exists.
Okay, so anyways, there is a theory that it could be
Bunnies. Sorry.
Yes, it's a bunch of bunnies.
It's a bunch of
I
bunnies
had to throw
molded
that in there
into
for my Buffy
one-
fans. Okay, go.
Okay, there's a theory that it could be a giant eel, and
I've heard that one too, yeah.
this guy, this Gemmell guy, said that this is plausible because they found a significant amount of eel DNA, which could be either from many regular eels, which are could get up to like 4 foot long,
or one
huge giant
eel.
one.
All right. I like this.
Yeah, so he said, this researcher said that it is plausible that the Loch Ness Monster could be a giant eel.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that so much.
Okay,
And there's
wait.
technically science to back up that theory.
Yes, but
My girl exists.
yes, but hey,
Plausible, Rachelle.
Let's think.
No.
Let's think really quick. Let's logic this out.
Ooh, I'm getting excited. Okay. Yep.
In the
Sweating a little bit.
1933 sightings, if we remember back, like a Dora episode, if we remember,
Never seen that. What is that?
Dora?
Dora
the Explorer?
the Explorer.
Oh, I've heard of Dora the Explorer. I've not seen it. I'm 32.
Alright.
Okay.
Anyway, if we remember back,
Do you see the Loch Ness Monster?
no! Because, okay, if we remember the 1933 sightings, those people said that she had legs and was walking across streets.
Yeah. and
Well,
eels
okay.
wouldn't do
We know one of the sightings, they didn't actually see her bottom half, so she could have been, like, slithering.
Like a snake?
Slither is snake.
Yeah, but eels
I don't personally-
need water to survive.
Yeah.
Can they
but
live outside of water for a while?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna look it up while you guys talk.
That's a good question.
I don't think they can live very long.
Okay,
at
well, I
least.
do want to talk about the plesiosaur theory, even though you disproved it. That's fine, because I still think it's kind of cool. Because a lot of cryptozoologists say
Although-
that she looks like a plesiosaur, not necessarily that she is one.
I will jump in and say though too, they did this test in 2018, so it is. I feel like it would be plausible that your theory could hold up a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So go on.
All right, so that's fair. That's fair. So a lot of cryptozoologists say that she looks like a plesiosaur, which a plesiosaur, for those of you who don't know, was a water-dwelling dinosaur that supposedly went extinct millions of years ago. But there are a lot of people who also think that she could be like a long-necked seal, which I think is kind of ridiculous. But I really
That'd
do...
be an awful long.
Yeah.
Wait,
neck.
is that
like
a
this-
species, or are they saying like a deformity of a
like
seal?
a deformity of a seal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I liked the plesiosaur theory, and I think that if that is something that, like you said, would have made sense previously, like maybe some of the earlier sightings was a plesiosaur.
Like the one in 536 AD.
Right, exactly. And then now maybe, like, maybe there's some sort of weird mutation thing happening in Loch Ness, and so it could be a combination of multiple creatures. Like, it's not just one creature that's lived for thousands of years, because that's silly.
Well, and also, have you guys also seen deep sea creatures? Like deep sea creatures.
we have no idea.
like
all the creatures that exist
but
in the sea.
even the ones that we have seen of deep sea creatures, they look borderline dinosaurs.
They
like
do.
they look
Absolutely.
They look very much like what could be something like that.
Yeah.
So she could be in a species that we have no idea even
Right,
exists.
because they found 3,000 distinct species, but we don't know that they were able to identify all 3,000.
Yeah.
And
because that was what I was going to ask. Is there any DNA in there that's unidentifiable?
The only thing that we do know, though, is that it can't be reptilian, because they said that they didn't find reptilian DNA. But
that doesn't rule her out at all.
That doesn't rule,
exactly.
That doesn't rule a lot of species out.
Right.
Like, because she could be a class that we don't even know of.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know of, like, an actual species or class or family or any of, like,
for
the
a fact that sea
scientific
creatures
classes.
exist that we don't know anything about. Like, we know that. Scientifically, we know that's a thing.
Don't we, like, discover, like, 1,000 different species every single day or something like that?
Something
like, it's
like
a
that,
huge number. I'm just spouting off the top of
Yeah,
my head,
because I
but-
think it was, like, 40% of the ocean that that is still completely undiscovered.
Exactly.
So, like, we still
There's
don't
no
know
telling
what's
what's in
all
there.
the way down there.
And especially with Loch Ness apparently being as big as it is.
Yeah. It's also completely plausible that with all of these sightings and everything, and with all of these people that have probably tried to find her,
Oh, yeah.
she could have easily gone deeper and deeper and deeper and just made sure
Well, yeah,
that
she
she
don't want to
stays...
be bothered.
No.
I don't blame her. I don't want to be bothered either.
Because they'd probably kill her.
Yeah, they would
just,
definitely
like,
kill
study
her.
her. Like,
Just
put her
study
on
her.
a slab and study her.
Yeah.
And she might be, like, crazy smart.
Yeah.
And,
She could be sentient. Or not sentient. Like,
I mean, I don't know about that. She could be, but I don't know that I subscribe to that.
Some people do believe that she's like a magical creature.
I don't think that she is a supernatural creature. Like, I think that she's not necessarily maybe even a creature that still exists, but I think she was a creature that existed at some point. I don't necessarily believe that Nessie is alive today.
yeah.
If I think it's possible that maybe her descendants are alive today.
I don't personally subscribe to the idea that it's like a giant fish or something like that. Like, the eel thing I could probably see.
That's very logical to me, yeah.
I think that's what she might be now. Like, is what they call the Loch Ness Monster now might be a giant eel.
So you think that maybe it's more than one creature?
Yes.
That's me too.
And then back then, I think that it was probably something more like a plesiosaur or something like that. Because the DNA wouldn't still be in the water at this point.
So what's your percentage that she exists or has existed at some point?
Has existed at some point, like 84.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 84. I
Okay.
would say that she probably did exist at one point.
Okay.
As far as existing now, I mean, with the evidence that's been shown and like the non-evidence that's been shown, probably like a 40.
Okay.
I don't think
That's
poor
fair.
girl
That's still pretty
exists
high.
anymore.
That's still pretty high, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I just don't think that poor girl exists anymore. I think she probably died a long time ago, and she might have been she's probably extinct by now. But do I think a giant eel is probably still in the Loch Ness based off the scientific evidence? Yeah, probably. But like, I wouldn't exactly call that a Loch Ness monster.
Right.
So those are my percentages.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, well, Bree's gonna head out while
Goodbye!
we finish up.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Come here.
We're dating this episode.
I mean,
Love you.
it's actually not Christmas. It's January 1st. But
That's true.
But we did Christmas presents today.
We did do Christmas presents. There was a whole lot of holographic stuff.
There was a whole lot of black stuff.
Yeah. Kalie and I are what's known as holosexuals. We like our holographic.
I'm
And
really not.
Bree loves black.
I love that.
Y'all should check out Simply Nailological.
Simply Nailological.
Gosh, I can't say it.
Yeah.
Christine!
Yes, she is also a holosexual. If you do not know, if you never heard that term before, definitely check her out and will make more sense to you.
Christine, the Hollow Queen. Christine.
Christine! The Hollow Queen.
All right, Bree, drive safely. Have fun with your family gathering thingy. All right, Mistress Bree has left. It is just Kalie and I now. Kalie, what are your thoughts in closing and percentages?
Okay. Loch Ness Monster, having existed in the past as a plesiosaur, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
That is correct.
As a plesiosaur, I think it is plausible. I think it's absolutely plausible, especially all the way up until when the sightings really happened in 1933. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it necessarily happened that way. I think that maybe she existed. There was a lot of lore. Maybe there were sightings before they really, like, had a big media outburst or whatever.
Right.
People maybe didn't report.
Well, and I think that it's possible that she mated and had kids, and, like, maybe it's, like, a series of a family of plesiosaur-like creatures.
Right, maybe. I mean, because, you know, I don't know a whole lot about evolution, but considering how long it's been since plesiosaurs were known to exist, it could be something similar. But used to as a plesiosaur, I would say 60% convinced that she existed like that. Nowadays, as a potential giant eel, as, you know, whether or not the Loch Ness Monster then was the same as the one now, but now as a giant eel, 10% maybe that she exists currently. But if she exists currently, I think that she's a giant eel.
Okay. All right. I'm with you for most of that. Like, I definitely... I'm like 95% sure that she existed at some point. And I'm going to say probably plesiosaur or something like it. The eel thing is cool. That makes a lot of sense to me. So it might have been that to begin with. I don't know. As far as existing today, as much as I'd love to say that she does, there really haven't been a whole lot of credible sightings in more recent era. So I'm going to say like 20% that she's still around. Maybe 15. I wish she was. I'd love to meet her. That would be so amazing. But, yeah, no. I definitely think that she did exist, but I don't so much think that she's still around. Mm-hmm. My poor girl. Aww. We all gotta go sometime, y'all.
Yeah, she's probably extinct by now.
Probably.
Yeah. And she is, and there's probably males, too.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, it's probably a whole line of successive related creatures.
Right, like
it's because nobody lives that long. That's ridiculous.
Do you think it is...
Except Keanu Reeves, of course.
Well, of course, because he's immortal.
Right, that's a given.
He's Charlemagne.
If you haven't listened to our Nuggets episodes, again, what is wrong with you? And please go do that now. Catch up before listening to this episode.
Well, by now they've already listened to the whole thing.
Well, don't listen to the last few minutes. Go catch up and then listen to the last few minutes.
Listen to all of this up until right now. Oh, welcome back, now that you've caught up. Yeah, I mean... Okay, question.
Yes.
Do you think that it is plausible at all that she could be a supernatural creature? Which I wish we had more time to talk about that on this episode. We didn't really, but because it is a theory, I want to throw it out there.
In general, I don't believe in the supernatural. Like, okay, I believe in spirits, like ghost type. I don't like the word ghost, I like the word spirit, but just so that you guys understand what I'm talking about, I do believe that exists. I believe that energy left over from a person's life is definitely a thing. I believe in, like, demons, angels, stuff like that. I don't really think that there are supernatural creatures like that do magic. Like, I don't think magic is a thing as much as we want it to be, being Harry Potter fans. No. Sorry. I don't believe that she's supernatural. Like 0.1%, sure. Okay.
I think I might be more at like 5%.
Okay.
You know, because I do believe in potentially supernatural creatures.
Okay.
And
like what?
Well, like Bigfoot, maybe.
I don't think Bigfoot is a supernatural
Or
creature,
what we
though.
think of as aliens, possibly.
I believe in aliens. I don't think that they do magic.
Well, no, not like
Supernatural
actual.
implies magic, right?
Right, but I'm not talking about like actual aliens, but what people like alien sightings that they think are aliens. I don't think they are necessarily aliens, that they could be supernatural creatures.
Like, the only magic that I believe in is in a young girl's heart.
What is wrong with you?
You don't know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
You were over there grinning for a little while. You were just waiting to have it come out.
I was waiting for my moment.
Yeah, no, I think about it like 5% that it could be a supernatural creature in there. But if it exists currently, yeah.
So do you believe in, like, unicorns and flying reindeer and life after love? I believe in life after love.
When we do get to talking about unicorns and mermaids and stuff like that, those are things that if they existed, I think that they would be supernatural creatures.
Okay.
But we'll talk more about those when we get to those.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Any closing arguments?
I got nothing.
Okay. I got nothing either. Well, Bree left, so I'm Rachelle.
I'm Kalie.
And that was Bree. And we are Paranoia Percentage.
You can find us on Twitter at Paranoia Percent, Tumblr as Pdubs Podcast, and Facebook and Instagram as Paranoia Percentage.